Hello, church. I want to just come and want to try to give this to you in a video rather than trying to maybe just type it up and send it out through our email system. But I want to give you share some exciting news and then some news about coming back together in worship. So, first, the exciting news. Church, I want to thank you for your faithfulness and your giving and supporting of this church during this time. Some of you have either mailed in or dropped off your tithes and offerings, and some of you have taken advantage of now giving online. I asked Miss Kathy to compare our giving to over the last 7 weeks to this same time last year. And do you know that we are within $31 compared to last year at this time? That is a testimony to our church, to you individually and also corporately, of your faithfulness in the ministry and the mission of what this church stands to do. And we have continued to be able to support our missionaries, been able to continue in what we're doing. And church, that's just a testimony to you, and you ought to give thanks to God for that. And I just want to let you know that this blesses this pastor's heart. But I also want to talk to you about coming back as we start. You know, back on March the 22nd, the deacons and I made a decision to suspend our regular services because of the COVID-19 situation. Later, our governor issued a stay-at-home order that was effective through April the 30th and then was extended to May the 8th. As your pastor, one of the hardest decisions I make is not to hold a service, whether that's because of weather or because of this pandemic. Like you, I greatly miss the fellowship of the believers in our body. I have missed your smiling faces and your warm greetings. But I know in my heart that the deacons and I have tried to make the decision that is best for our body. As the state of North Carolina prepares to open back up through the phases, the deacons and I once again discussed what will it look like for New Life Baptist Fellowship Church and what is best for our congregation. If our governor begins to move into the phases, or phase 1, on May the 8th, that phase will last for 2 weeks. It will not be until phase 2 that churches and other places will be allowed to reopen within a certain number. Unfortunately, there is no clear number that has been given at this time. It could be a set number, or it could be a percentage of your building's capacity. And that is all contingent on phase 1 beginning on May 8th and phase 2 beginning on May 22nd. As I said, with that in mind, the deacons and I discussed what is the best for New Life Baptist Fellowship Church. If all goes well with the governor's phases, we will plan to begin our services at New Life Baptist Fellowship Church on June 7th. This will allow for a leeway in case the phases hit a standstill, but also time for us to see how this reopening is working. I and the deacons want to keep everyone safe. When we meet back together for the first time, we will only have service and no Sunday school or nursery. We will also not have a regular fellowship time at the beginning of our service. We are still planning on having our homecoming service on June 14th with the Cockman family coming to sing. We will not have a fellowship meal, though, after the service, but will hold that at a later date in conjunction with a Friend Day event. If all goes well, we will resume our Sunday school time and nursery on June 21st. Church, I realize that some of you are ready to come back to service tomorrow, and I am also. But I plead with you to trust me and the deacons that we are putting out there what is best for our congregation. If you have any questions, please call me or one of the deacons. Church, I greatly look forward to seeing your smiling faces sitting in our worship center, and I am ready for that. Also know that Jimmy and I have been talking and discussing our first Sunday back. And Jimmy and the choir will be preparing some songs in a worship time, and we will have a great day of worship as we come back for the very first time. And many of our talented singers will be singing that day and using their talents for the glory of God. And church, I look forward to that. But until then, I want to do everything we can to keep our congregation as safe as possible. As I close, I also want to give a great shout out. For when you see them, please tell them how much you appreciate the work that they've been doing. Not only Jimmy coming and continuing to do music, but also I want to thank McKinley and Emma and Aaron for coming on Sunday mornings and making sure that our streaming services and our everything is set up and ready to go so that you all can view the messages and the services on Sunday. Without them, a lot of this would not be possible. And make sure that you reach out and you tell them thank you for them using their gifts for the glory of God. Church, I love you, and I thank you for allowing me to continue to be your pastor.